in Italian is my kitchen. La prima cosa, the first thing, la prima cosa, prima is, it can be used as one in Italian. The first thing is to put on the fadale. Fadale in Italian means apron. And boy, do I have an amazing, delicious meal to show you today. So the first thing, obviously, we always have to start with the fadale. And this is the tree. And see, and the tree really represents God. And the trunk is God, and the branches are us. And as you can see, they're very colorful, and we're all colorful. We come in all different shapes and sizes, and amazing the things that we can learn from each other. So the first thing I'm going to do is I am going to start my pan here, and I have it at a medium, and I'm going to heat it up. I am using a cast iron. I don't know what these are called, you know, they have all these names. And what I want to do is I want to get this nice and hot started, because what I'm going to show you is amazing and delicious and super healthy as well. We're going to be utilizing a 1/4 cup of olive oil, and I have extra virgin olive oil. I am going to be utilizing 2 cloves of garlic that we are going to slice. We are going to utilize these beautiful little Roma tomatoes. Look how cute they are. We're going to utilize 2 of those. And then, of course, then we're going to have to bring in the little stinky onion. And I have a beautiful, everything I'm using is organic, because what I do is I buy when it's on sale. And so this is my organic 1 red onion that I have here that I'm going to cover up. If not, I'm going to start sneezing all over you. Then I am going to be utilizing these 2 beautiful cups of butternut squash, and I'm going to get into butternut squash and why we're using butternut squash, because it's amazing and great for you, besides being delicious. And look what I have over here. It's sage. So I am going to be utilizing sage, but I kind of put it over here so it can be pretty for you. So sage, and then let me grab, where's my glasses? I need to get one of those things that has pockets. And then what I'm going to be utilizing as herbs is, but before I even go there, when my mom would make this dish, okay, this is after we came to America, we learned about butternut squash. In Argentina, in South America, where I spent 13 years of my life, they call them zapachos. So there's different zapachos. And I don't ever remember ever seeing a butternut squash, but once we moved to America, now there's this new squash, and it's sweet and it's delicious. So we're going to be using 2 cups of this, but it will be made with pasta. But you know, I want to make this a lot healthier, and I'm going to be using quinoa. And what quinoa is an ancient grain known by the Incas as the mother grain. Yes. And also quinoa, it comes from the Andes Mountains of South America. And that's what we're going to be using. Now, if you want to use a pasta, you can use the pasta, but I'm not going to use a pasta because I want to stay healthy, and I am slimming down, even though, you know, fall is around the corner. You know, we got to maintain ourselves healthy. Also with this, I'm going to be utilizing some bone broth. Don't worry about if you don't have bone broth. You don't have to use bone broth. You can just use water, but I'm going to use some bone broth because, you know, this is almost time, and you know, fall is right around the corner. We're so excited. Okay, and then for the herbs that I will be utilizing besides sage, I'm going to be utilizing rosemary and thyme, and I also going to. I went to my garden today when I was picking these guys. And the mint was looking at me and saying, I want to come to play. If you have mint, you use mint. But don't worry about it. Pretty much, like I said, I'm going to be utilizing a little parsley, some of this wonderful rosemary and thyme. You know, every time I hear that, I just want to sing. So I'm just going to get these little guys all out because I'm going to be utilizing them. And I know that you guys want to measure. And let me go get myself a paper towel. right here, because I don't want anything wet, super wet going in here. I mean, it's going to get some wetness, but not right now. Okay, so I am going to go get my meat, and what I'm going to be utilizing is Italian sausage. Okay, I'll be right back. Oh, chi bellezza, la sausage italiana. Oh, chi bellezza. And what I have here is I have a pound of Italian mild sausage, and it is pork. So what I want to do is I kind of want to, you know, this is starting to oil itself up. So what I want to do, very simple, very easy transaction, is just put my wonderful sausage right here. Then I just want to start getting going. You know, because sometimes, you know, it may render a lot, it may render so much. And I want to use the juices of this, okay? So while this is doing its thing over here, and I have it on medium, and this, what I want to do now is I want to take I'm probably going to take about 2 tablespoons, and I'm just going to add it to the meat. I know this is strange, all right, because what I want to do is I want it to start toasting it with the sausage, because what's going to happen here is going to give it a very beautiful, beautiful flavor. Now, at this time, I am going to take my onions, and I'm also going to add my onions. So what we have here is we have 1 pound of sweet Italian sausage, 2 tablespoons of the quinoa, and 1 red onion. All goes in here. All goes in here. Okay, I'm done with this. Let me put that to the side. This is going to go quick. And they're all going to be in here doing their thing as we're going to continue to chop other things. All right, so now I have probably used about a tablespoon in here. And then what I want to do now is, since I already used a tablespoon, I'm going to eye it, and I'm probably going to use a half of a quarter cup. A half of a quarter cup. All your mathematicians, all of you very smart, intelligent, beautiful people, you'll know what that is. Because right now I'm just going to eye it. I don't want a lot of olive oil in here, but I just want to eye it. And it's already smelling wonderful and delicious. And now the sausage is rendering its deliciousness, and that's what we want. And right now what I want to do is I want to take my 2 cups of beautiful chopped butternut squash, and I'm just going to add them all in there. It's a very pretty dish. It's absolutely wonderful. And nothing is sticking because we don't want anything to stick. Okay, so now what I want to do to this is I want to salt this. So I'm going to take a good heaping salt, maybe 1 tablespoon for the whole thing. I don't like a lot of salt. I am going to be using the bone broth, and I'm using organic bone broth, and it does have some salt. I always have to be very careful with salt because of high blood pressure. I don't have high blood pressure, but my husband had it, but doesn't have it anymore, and we want to keep it that way. Okay, so what we want to do right now is we want to cover this baby up. Cover that baby up, okay? So now let me bring your attention now. Let me put my spoon right there. I have my herbs. So then what I want to do now is I want to get my herbs. So how many herbs, how much? I know that you guys like to measure. So I'm going to take a tablespoon because I have my other tablespoon somewhere and I don't know what I did, and that's okay because the spoon, oh, there it is. The tablespoon police is nowhere to be found, but I did find my tablespoon. So let's see, I'm probably going to be looking for about, a good 2 tablespoons. So what I want to do is, sage knows is sage, and sage is very strong and wonderful. So I'm going to be taking 2 leaves of sage. If you want more sage, by all means, and I'm just going to roll them. I'm going to roll them because what I want to do with them is I just want to thinly slice them. It's like I want to know they're there, okay? I want to know they're there. And then what I want to do is I am going to take 3 sprigs 3 sprigs of thyme. And I'm just going to, I start from the place where I can bring them all down, and then the little tips that are very tender, I just cut those off and I just put them with the stem and all. Because it's flavor. It's flavor, not the hard part of the stem. Just the very, very soft of the part of the stem. All right, so then now that I have my little guys over here, let me move this guys out of the way. Because right now what I want to do is, I just want to make sure that I get all of my herbs. In the meantime, we got these guys going on, and there's no liquid in there. I know you're saying, oh my God, everything is going to dry out. Nothing is drying out. Where is my big spoon? It's right here. So nothing is drying up. Right now, everybody is working together. They're doing their thing. They're working with a wonderful quinoa, the Italian sausage. And the thing is this dish came about, my parents would work so many hours, they had their, and my mom, she would come home and she would be so tired, and I remember that. And then she would just come up with these ideas of making foods like this, and this is what I'm bringing you. So now, I like rosemary. I love rosemary. Rosemary is a great herb, so I want to put it all in here like so. So you see what I'm doing? You see my board right here? So I am putting it all over here. Okay, and then I want to get some parsley for freshness. And parsley is very underutilized, but if you read about parsley, it's got wonderful health benefits. It's great for bad breath. If you have bad breath, it's great for stomach. So I am going to use a little bit more parsley than the other herbs. You don't have to, because we're also going to be utilizing some granulated garlic, and I'm also going to be utilizing some Italian seasoning. Because we're still going to season, which now at this time I'm going to take, I don't really measure, and I know you guys do, so I'm just going to take a couple of shakes now of my Italian seasoning, because now is where I want my Italian seasoning, as you can see. So it depends on how much you want. You may not want all these seasonings, but it goes very well with all the Italian flavors of the sausage. And then I'm going to cover this baby up, because now it's got those seasoning. All right, my mom would always put the spoon on top of the pan. I do the same thing, but this one has got the plastic, so I don't want it to melt, so I have to keep it on the side. Okay, so now that I have this deliciousness over here, I am going to go ahead and take some mint. How much mint? Well, let's see. I have these little leaves. Well, I'm just not going to worry about it. And now what I want to do is I'm going to take my garlic, because if you're going to start chopping that and you're going to add that all in there, the last thing you want to do is to chop when you can all chop it together. So I was going to, I'm going to slice one of the garlics. Okay, one of the garlics. And sometimes my mom, she would slice it, sometimes depending on how she was feeling. She would just chop it, but she would tell me that the reason that she sliced it is because it was pretty. It looked pretty, And my mom is the one that taught me how to draw birds. I remember, one day we were sitting. It was a very, very cold day in South America, and she just started drawing birds. And so it's amazing the things that that we remember from our parents. So treasure your parents while you have them. Okay, so now what I want to do is I really want to give a very, very good chop to these guys. No salt has gone in here, and and a lot of the chefs, they say you have to really season. I understand the season, but it doesn't mean that we have to salt. Because that can create problems for us later on in life. Not when we're young. But when we get older, then all the other stuff happens. So if we can start now controlling our salt, we can control a lot of other problems that later on that can happen. I don't know why I have my glasses. Let me take my glasses off. So, what I am really looking over here, I would not measure, but because of you, I am going to measure. And it should be a good 2 heaping tablespoons, because I am not going to do anything with these guys other than just chop them up and put them in there. Okay, so if you would to measure this, okay, it will give you 2 good heaping tablespoons. All right, so now it's time for me to put it all in here, just like that. Oh yeah, baby. Oh yeah, baby. We are building flavor upon flavor, and now we bring our beautiful garlic. Oh, mamma mia, che bellezza! You know, food is so beautiful. You know, a carrot doesn't try to fit into a tomato, because the carrot knows it's a carrot. And the tomato loves the carrot no matter what it is. It knows that, hey, you know what, we can all get along. We can all get along. Okay, so now I'm going to take my wonderful granulated garlic, and I want to put, where's my tablespoon? I am going to be using a tablespoon. I decided, woo, just a little bit more on the board there. I decided that, you know, I am going to be adding some frozen spinach in here. That will come into the pot in just a few minutes, because when you season with herbs, the desire to salt more is really not there. So what you're going to do, oh, I already salted that because I remember salting it. I said, I'm not going to salt it again. You see what I almost did? Oh, I remember. Okay, so now I'm going to take my tomatoes. I'm going to cover this up, because this dish goes in a jiffy. You're going to have lunch in a jiffy. You won't, I mean, you're going to go, what? Okay, and even though I have this wonderful garlic powder on here, you know, I am not going to mind chopping my tomatoes right on this. And these are organic Roma tomatoes. Yes, they do make organic Roma tomatoes. And these guys are beautiful little tomatoes. And I'm telling you, you know, you guys can buy organic. You just have to go when you know when the sales are, and also to eat with the seasons. And the good thing about Florida, you know, we get a lot of things that, you know, that when we're not growing it here, it grows in California. So I always make sure that I know where my food comes from, and that's something that I learned through my parents. Because, you know, when my parents came to this country, they had to learn that there's a thing called a grocery store. And because my father we always grew all of our food, you know, in South America. Okay, so now we have 2 beautiful Roma tomatoes over here. I am going to take these 2 beautiful Roma tomatoes, and I'm just going to put them right on top. Right on top. Oh, it's singing a song, a beautiful song of food. And now I am going to wipe my hands with this that I have over here. And now I am going to go grab my spinach, and I got to get it out of the freezer. I'll be right back. So I got 1 pound of the wonderful Italian sausage. Okay, now, you know, my mom did not have frozen spinach. You know, my mom, you know, she would just, you know, go to the garden and get it. But I'm not growing spinach. So I am just going to put it right on top of this. Oh yes. And I would really suggest spinach, because a lot of people, they don't like kale, but spinach is very, very good. And I'm going to tell you something. Butternut squash is loaded with vitamin A, C, E, magnesium, potassium. They're high in antioxidants. And it's very good for for losing weight. And with all these herbs and everything that's going on, what you are putting good food into your body. And this is what, you know, more than anything else, that's the reason why I do this, because I really wanted to show you guys a different way. Because if we start taking care of ourselves now, when you get to be 63 like me, then hopefully you're not going to have a lot of health problems. And by the grace of God, I don't have any health problems. Thank you, Creator. And I have been in this health kick for years. And I think that that's what saved me, really. Okay, so now for the extra parsley that I have, because I don't want to, you know, not use my parsley, I am going to chop it, because this parsley, guys, I am going to use this parsley, okay? I'm going to use this for garnish. For garnish, okay? So now I'm cutting this up, because this is almost done. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my bone broth. And bone broth is amazing and wonderful for you. And that's the reason why I use it. Okay, so now with my bone broth, I am going to check what's going on over here. I'm going to check what's going on over here. Oh, yes. And I can see now that now is that time. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take a 1/4 cup. And I'm just going to put it right over, because I am going to eye it. I am going to eye it. I don't want it super wet, but I don't want it super dry either. And you know, oh yes, it's made all this wonderful yumminess on the bottom there. I am going to take another 1/4 cup. And see, the thing is you can add, but you cannot take it away, okay? That's the reason why we're going slow. And then that way we know, oh yeah, oh, wait till I show you this, guys. Oh, it's such a beautiful dish. And you know, and my mom, she would just come up with these, you know, and I remember this dish, and that's what I wanted to show you, that even an Italian woman can make things like this. So now what I'm going to do is, well, I am kind of smashing a little bit the sausage, because I don't want to take a big chunk of sausage. I want a little bit of everything when I'm eating it. I'm chomping in it. Okay, so it looks like, you know, the 2/4 cups that we used is working really well on this, okay? So now what I want to do is, I want to taste. It's had some time to do its thing with the bone broth right now. So what I want to do is I'm going to come in here. Oh, the herbs. Oh, see, I would not at this time, I would not personally salt it. But if you want more salt, by all means, you know, you can. I know that a lot of people like a lot of salt, and but just remember that, you know, you may, and I don't want to say that you will, but you know, if you want to keep it healthy, you know, salt is good, but not to over salt. So then what I'm going to do now is I'm just going to grab a beautiful plate, because it's finished. In less than a half an hour, we're done. So the way that I would serve this is I would put it in a very beautiful plate like so. Oh my gosh, it is so good and so delicious. Okay? Oh, I gotta show this to you guys. Aspetta, eh? Aspetta, you have to be patient, eh? Oh, yes. Okay, I'm gonna shut it off, because we gotta shut this off. And what I would do is I would just, you know, if you want to, you know, do a nice presentation, you know, make sure you get your plate nice and clean like this. Okay? And then what I would do is I would take my parsley and put it right on top. I would just let it sprinkle parsley everywhere. Just let it sprinkle parsley everywhere. And then what I would do is that I would take a nice piece of crunchy bread like so, and I would put it on the side. You see? Look what you guys made. Look how beautiful that is. With just a toasted piece of bread, you can have an amazing, incredible, delicious meal. Okay, guys, this is all I have for you. A super easy 30-minute meal on one pot. I want to thank you so much for joining me today in my beautiful cucina. Be kind to yourself. Be kind to others. Do your part by wearing a mask. You're protecting your health. You're protecting yourself. I don't like wearing eye masks. Every time I put on a mask with my asthma, I cough and my nose runs and blah, 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 blah. But you know what? I know that I need to do my part to keep myself healthy and safe. and also to keep you safe and healthy. All right, everybody, I love you. I love you. Grazie molti, grazie molti. Thank you so much for stare con me. I love you. I love you. Enjoy questa mangiata. Lunchtime. We are going to mangia this right now. Okay, belli. Ciao, ciao.